we have Jason and myself who did literally the same product, which is the thermoelectric generator. Tanner, who did, I think he did solar panels. Yeah, that's right. I don't think he realized it is in post. Lurban had purifier, right?
Yes, water purifier.
And Neffy, you also had solar panels, right?
No, air cooler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did air cooler, yeah.
Jesus had solar panels. Okay. I don't really care what we do. I'll say between mine and Jason's, we have a crap load of information we could use already.
And we don't need that much. So
no, we don't.
Do we need 3 different ones? Is that what the idea you think?
So we need 3 ideas. Yes.
Yeah, but what are the products that meet like a real need right now in India? That we think that actually they can buy it, no matter if they don't have money or they have money, or you know, it satisfies a need.
Correct.
Yeah. My whole point, I was trying to get everybody to, in their initial submissions here, to have all of their works cited and stuff ready to go, so we could literally just copy and paste. It looks like Jesus definitely did that. I tried to add my stuff in there as well.
Looks like Tanner did.
Yeah, Jason, you did too, right?
Well, yeah, and Tanner did too. It looks like Tanner had references to his.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Steven. I was looking at Steven's.
Yeah. I tried to really just, put everything nice and clean. That way, like, all Jason had to do was compile. Bam. It's all done.
Right.
So yeah, Lurban and Tanner has one source, and Steven, it looks like you did several. And Lurban, if you want to add, I guess the easiest way to do it would be to either add it to element B, maybe to the document, the Google document for element B, if you just wanted to post at the end.
Because
so if you just copy and paste your whole post and then put your references at the end, then we can add that.
Okay.
It looks like.
I'm kind of confused. I can easily get confused.
Sure.
Let me
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, kind of. I have my. So is that the one that is 0 possible points? Is that where you are? That discussion?
Yes.
Discussion reflection that we are not getting any points, right?
Correct. It's just a discussion board to share information with each other.
Okay. Yeah. So then,
if you're able to see my screen, this is what I would suggest. Just copy the whole thing. Copy your post, and then paste that in the Google document element B, and then add your references after.
With the one we shared, the Google share?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, just post it with element B. So copy it directly from the discussion board, paste it in element B, and then add your references where they need to be, and then post the references at the end as well for the bibliologic. I can't say that word.
Bibliography?
Yeah, yes, that word.
Okay.
Post it at the end.
AP, right? We're still doing AP. Okay.
Yeah. So you'll need to let me know if you don't add those footnotes in the body. You'll need to let me know where they need to go. Okay.
Jason, do you need me to do the same thing or?
So, for example, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
So at the end of this post, so there's footnotes that show which reference goes to which. And then all the references are listed at the end.
Do you want me to do it like we did in the other project? Like we put in parentheses?
If it's easier for you to do it that way, yeah, that'd be fine. And then I can
Or
add the footnotes.
how do you prefer? It's easy for me because it's less, but if it is confusing for you, I will do whatever is more.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Why is it that we need references and sources? Do we have to provide like a backup where we're getting the information, or we're just using the idea of a product to apply it to the 7 elements that we have seen in the course? Because what I understood,
That's what
what I understood is that we have to select 3 products, but those 3 products, we need to apply that product into the 7 elements that we're covering.
Sure.
Like it doesn't matter if we add sources, because actually we are not studying the product. Instead, we are thinking that we are the owners of the product and we want to sell it. So we need to think of the culture. We need to think about the trading market, and we need to say like, hey, okay, the water purifier is going to have an impact on this, or it's going to be negative on this. That's what I think. We need to defend the product based on the 7 elements.
Right. Yeah, and you know how it has some questions? That's what I did. I kind of answered the question. I did, of course, did my research first, right? Like I would answer the questions that they had, and that's how it, like, for instance, it says what would be the product and why, and then my first little paragraph is because the people in India have a drinking water issue, and what is that? So I went ahead and explained the issue. So I think that's what I was thinking, like Nefi is saying, but that's fine. If you want me to go back and look for the references, I will, and I'll put them in there.
So to address Nefi's question, then we'll come back to you, Lervin. So Nefi, my feeling about it is that whenever you cite a source, you need to give credit for that source. For example, if you're stating a fact, it adds credibility to your fact if you share that source of information. And so same thing, same reason why we would normally cite a reference. If you're borrowing information or using information from another source, you need to give credit to that source.
Right.
Yeah. I feel the same way about the products themselves. For example, I state a few different facts in my post, and in order to give credibility to those facts, I've also shared the reference to those facts.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then Lervin, if you just want to add, so we'll just keep it out the same way that we've done it in the past. If you add the reference in quotation marks, if you add the reference in parentheses.
In parentheses?
Yes, and then I'll just make the footnote, and then
that way you will know what.
Do all the referencing correctly after that. The in-text citation as well as the.
And how do I get to that Google Doc again?
How do you get to what?
The Google Doc? If I go to the inbox?
I can send out the email again, but it should be in your email. It should be an email invitation.
Did you send it in the inbox? Right?
I sent it to your email that you provided all of us. I can look it up again, and I can send it out again if you'd like me to.
It's in one of the threads, Lervin.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, let me look. I'll look it up. I don't want you to be working more than you should.
If you can't find it, let me know, and I'll send it again. It's not hard to send it again. It's just a couple clicks.
It's hard for me, technology, so that's why I'm like, oh, let me see. Okay.
So, if I can interrupt, because it's getting kind of late over here. I would just really, if we could figure out how we want to divvy up the next bit of work as far as the PowerPoints go. I propose that maybe we should let Jason direct this phase, because he's the one that will be compiling the PowerPoint and most likely have the pleasure of taking care of the audio, which I think is something we should probably look to on the horizon, because in the past, audio on PowerPoints has been a huge hurdle from one group project to the next. Is that, I mean, Lurban, is that okay with you if we
Yeah.
transfer that to Jason?
Please. Yeah, no,
And
that's
Jason, are you okay taking that?
Yeah. So to clarify, you want me to put together the slides?
Yeah,
And then
and
we'll add the
really like
narrations to the
divvy up.
slides.
Yeah, and the you know, divvy up how who's writing what, and how do you want to do the audio? Like, are we? I doubt you want to do a whole PowerPoint presentation using our information and then plus the, you know, like Nephi was talking about, justifying everything with the 7 elements and narrating it yourself. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So what is the most streamlined and path of least resistance to getting all this together in your mind?
So we were going to try to do the recording tomorrow night. Is that right? Or was it Wednesday?
Wednesday?
I think
I thought it was
Wednesday
Okay.
night would probably give us more time to prepare, seeing as I haven't
Yeah.
written anything yet.
And I just forgot. So Wednesday sounds good to me too. So that will give me a little bit more time to put together stuff. So maybe what we can do is, I guess what we need to do is identify what elements we want to include in the PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
And then from there, once we have the elements and know what elements we want to use, then we can divide those out and people can revisit those and brief, maybe whittle them down a little bit so they're a little more brief so that we can get the presentation done within the time permitted. So I think the two things, deciding on what elements we're going to use, and then are we going to use the water purification, the thermal electric generators, and solar panels as our 3 products? And then if so, who wants to take each of those? Like 3 different people could take one of each of those and then condense down the information.
I'll be happy to work on, seeing as you're compiling everything and you and I both did the same thing. I can of course do the generator.
And Nephew, do you want to do the air coolers? Are those the 3 things we talked about?
Sure, not a problem.
So I guess we have 4 categories. I'm sorry. We have water purifiers, thermoelectric generators, solar panels, and air coolers. So which of those, what 3 products out of those 4 categories would you guys like to do?
And that's what we were thinking. I think Nephi mentioned something, products that the consumers will have a need, you know, that they would buy it,
May
right?
I suggest something? Because if we base the products in India, remember that India is not a first, how do you call that?
First world
country. Yeah. So you have many classes over there, and some of them just get almost $300 per month. So they don't have the capacity to buy, like, for example, solar panel or something like that. I think that we need to base that on the power acquisity they have, and also we need to apply it based on what is really important right now. Is it water? Is it weather conditions? Is it what is the other one? The other product?
Well, if that's the case, then the thermoelectric generator is kind of pricey, even for Americans. What do you think, Jason? Would you also agree with that?
Well, it can be. The components are, so doing a cost analysis, depending on how the product's made, it could be inexpensive or it could be expensive. It
Yeah.
just
But
depends on how it's
what will
positioned.
be the benefit too, you know? If
Yeah.
if it's gonna be very beneficial, is that gonna be a consumer level? The benefit, it'll be more households or business or
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that the generators are going to be more expensive than an air cooler, for instance. But I'll say water purifiers are very cheap.
Yes,
Companies
and it's
like
very
Sawyer.
important. I
Yeah.
would say that water purifiers are a need for
Yeah.
them.
So this is what I propose. Everybody take a turn and tell us your top three. So Nephi, go first. What's your top three?
I would say water purifiers, the first one.
Okay.
I would say that what, but tell me the fourth because I forgot them. Okay, you have
Thermal electric generators, solar, air, and water purifiers.
okay. I would say that solar panels is not a good recommendation right now. The rest are the ones.
So your vote is for water purifiers, solar electricity, and thermal electricity. Is that correct?
Now you need to remove the solar panels because I would say that that's too expensive and many people cannot afford that.
Okay, so you have the thermal electric generators, the air purifiers, and the water purifiers. Sorry, I meant air coolers, not air purifiers.
Mm-hmm.
air
Right.
coolers.
Yeah, I would
So-
say that.